the board, that's when it goes live.
No, committee meetings have to be live streamed.
Okay, all right.
All right, you should be good.
Can you
Okay,
get
you're
rid of
good.
that thing? Oh,
Huh?
never mind. I'm talking to myself. I'm gonna be
Okay.
quiet now.
All right, thank you, Allison.
Okay, so are we ready?
Yeah, you're ready. Go. You're good.
Okay, so we're gonna call this meeting to order, and we're gonna start by reviewing the minutes from February 8th, 2021. I need a motion to approve those minutes.
Peter, I'll make a motion.
Can we get a second?
Jeff will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anna, would you take us into our business?
Certainly. Thank you, Hanif, and thank you all for your time today. And thank you, Robin, for working to schedule this convening today. Rochester Works, which, as many of you may know, is Monroe County's fiscal agent for federal WIOA funds pertaining to workforce development efforts, is seeking funding from MCIDC to support what they are calling a joint initiative with Monroe County that will connect job seekers with employers. It's a virtual job fair initiative. There is a software platform that Rochester Works would like to purchase or subscribe to that would allow them in collaboration with Monroe County to offer and administer remote virtual job fairs. And then they'd also like to carry that relationship into in-person job fairs at some point as well to address the current workforce crisis. This is a platform that has worked for other organizations in the region. I don't have in front of me the name of the specific service itself, but the funding request is for $17,000. This is a conversation that initiated in 2020, early on in the pandemic, prior to David Seeley taking on the executive director role, prior to Monroe County consolidating and really siphoning off its workforce development division and in favor of strengthening the partnership with Rochester Works. My sense in conversations with the county executive and with his current director of communications, Gary Walker, is that this is a direction that they'd like to see the county head in into the next year as we seek to address the workforce crisis. So I asked Dave Seeley to provide us with a statement of need for funds, given the fact that, as I mentioned, Rochester Works takes on. So just for some, by way of background, the county, Monroe County, is a sole grantee of between every year $5 and $6 million in federal WIOA funding. WIOA stands for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Those dollars flow through our finance department directly to Rochester Works. And so I asked Dave to provide us with this, and Dave is joining us here now, so I can ask him to speak, as well as Laura Seelman. So I asked him to speak to the statement of need, as this is outside of the WIOA funding. And we believe that it's in strong alignment with MCIDC's mission. Most, if not all, of the programs that we lend support to in Monroe County are directly tied to workforce training, development, and engagement. And just today, I heard the county executive speak. It was his first time speaking publicly in tandem with City of Rochester Mayor-elect Malik Evans. And The emphasis of the presentation, it was the Rochester Downtown Development Corporation Vision Future Luncheon. The emphasis was on the pandemic, but by and large really centered on workforce and areas that we need to collaborate around bringing people back to work and ensuring that our employers have access to a strong talent pipeline. So with that, I'd love to hand it over to David Seeley. I'm not sure if folks on the call have been introduced to Dave in the past. And Dave, you could also introduce Laura Seelman from your team. And we can talk a little bit more in the weeds about this funding request and the plan of action going forward and conversations thus far with Monroe County and our communications department.
Thank you, Anna. And thanks everyone for the opportunity to discuss this and for your service as well. I'm a public servant, so I know that a lot of you this is not your day job, or most of you, I think, on the board. And so I appreciate your service. But and before I move forward, I just wanted to recognize, as Anna did, Laura Seelman, who's our Director of Business Services for Rochester Works. She's I won't say she's new, because she's been doing this work for well over a decade, but just ascended to this management position with the retirement of our longtime head of that division, John Primo. So Laura's this was her brainchild, and I know something that she had been conceiving for a while. And, we are just blessed with the opportunity just for consideration. And I really do think this could be a beneficial ingredient to what's a real kind of delicious stew of workforce development strategies throughout Monroe County. I'll just start by saying, for those of you who aren't familiar with what Rochester Works does, we are, as Anna said, the fiscal agent for Monroe County and the city of Rochester, designated to administer federal workforce development dollars through WIOA. We do that primarily through a host of means. Essentially, anyone seeking a job or looking to upskill can come through our doors and be connected with a career pathway, can have training opportunities funded, can be connected with employers. And there's a whole kind of a number of tools in our toolbox that we can use to do that, whether it's on the job training, whether it's just funding a training experience, whether it's seminars that help build work readiness. But in addition to that, one of the most classic, and I think probably efficient ways of connecting job seekers with employers has been through job fairs. And it's in some ways they're the comfort food of this, but they really are effective. And one thing we're hearing repeatedly from our employers, and I've only been here 4 months in this position, but it seems to be sustained, if not growing, is our employers coming to us and first wanting us to serve as a placement agency, which we're not, but also to help provide those opportunities to connect directly with job seekers. So as we look towards 2022, we really want to have a good system in place, an infrastructure in place that has a variety of ways that we can connect job seekers, in addition to the bread and butter services we provide at our career centers, and that Laura facilitates through her business services division. So with this virtual job platform, we talked with some of our cohorts, our peer workforce development boards throughout the state, who have indicated they've had a great deal of success over the past year with these type of platforms. And also the Department of Labor, who in tandem with us provides job training and career services. It's a whole other conversation to get into why we do those in parallel tracks, but the Department of Labor has been able to do this, and you're seeing a lot of participation. And we recognize as we continue to move forward the need to be flexible and adaptable with people. And we feel that a platform like this really can have efficacy in that regard. And as explained in the application, it's relatively straightforward. And the budget is born out of a a process where we did follow our procurement policy and looked at 3 vendors. And Laura and her team, in talking with the vendors and understanding the platforms, determined that Premier Virtual Event Software Package was the best platform. Thankfully, it was also the least costly, which is good. But we propose a 1-year pilot subscription to that platform. And in addition, some marketing dollars. And Anna got into a little bit. We really need to do a better job promoting our workforce development services. And we're relatively limited by our funding streams. And that's why we love partnering with the county. It's very helpful because the county has a lot more bandwidth than we do. But we would like some additional marketing dollars just to make sure that we're promoting these job fairs appropriately. To get to the statement of need, I'll be honest and upfront. WIOA money could technically, it's not like this type of expenditure is not permissible via WIOA. It is. But as I outlined in our statement of need, or whatever you want to call it, it's been a tough year and a tough with regards to funding. We're down year to year with WIOA funding. But more significantly is, and this is not the county's fault because a lot of this is state dollars. A lot of our revenue that we generally see from the county in providing services in tandem with the Department of Human Services, those were discontinued. And in order to kind of maintain level of service, we really had to take more WIOA money for opportunity for services that were funded through non-WIOA funds. So, it's a $100,000 reduction year to year, but WIOA is being stretched as much as possible this year. So that's why really we are very limited and want to not wait till the next funding year and really move forward in an expedient manner. And that's really why this opportunity I think is good. I think it puts a good stake in the ground for an ongoing partnership. Not that there has been a partnership, but really to work in tandem with the county, because I know the county executive has been very clear about his priority, one of his primary priorities being workforce development. And I'll just note, it's the same thing goes for the mayor as well. And the mayor is one of our chief elected officers. We're a county fiscal agent, but we work in tandem with the city as well. So that's our goal, is to be out there providing more opportunities to connect businesses with job seekers. And that's what this aims to do.
Dave, just quickly, I'm somewhat aware of this program. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, we were starting to try to look at this here because you can't hold the physical job fairs anymore to the degree just because of COVID. And we were looking at a lot of these companies that were offering this right here. And so we looked at 3 companies also too. And I think the highest one was like maybe 21 grand. And this was sort of maybe the mid-sized package right here. I mean, it looks familiar. But from what I'm looking at, all of the stuff is unlimited. You can put as many companies in to have these job fairs. It's not limited to 1 to 10. You can have up to 500 if you could, if you possibly could, manage that. But I think the thing is that there's a need to have job fairs and to have them virtually, so our businesses can find folks so they can become employed. So I've been a little close to this here because I worked in workforce maybe the past 10, 15 years and closely associated with Rochester Works. So the program for me, it is needed. And if you've done your due diligence of what this is right here, maybe we can hear from Laura a little bit in terms of how she's going to manage this here and how this pilot is going to look like after a year, or how she hopes that it'll look.
Absolutely.
Hanif, you definitely hit the nail on the head in terms of what we were looking for. The key was flexibility at a reasonable cost. As you said, some of the other platforms, had very specific requirements in terms of just, you'd be able to host up to 10 businesses, no more than 100 job seekers, with very limited amounts of interaction our staff would be able to have. And so we wanted the ability to, be responsive to what our business needs are as they grow and change. You know, as hopefully we continue to move through COVID, we'd be able to be responsive and host events for maybe one business at a time, host events for a specific industry of businesses that are looking to recruit, you know, have just a sort of general event, and also host those events at different time frames. You know, we'd ideally like to have some events maybe at different times, maybe a 5 to 7 evening time frame. So those passive candidates who are maybe, you know, working part-time or something can, you know, consider and attend in a more flexible time frame. So we're looking to, I guess we don't have a specific timeline or anything. We're looking to offer these events in tandem with our on-site events, which we have scheduled on-site at our Career Center, as well as events we're going to be doing in and around the community. But the goal is to launch this in the first quarter of 2022 once we get things up and running, and then sort of be responsive based on what the needs are. And also, as Dave mentioned, work in partnership with the State Department of Labor to make sure we're not you know, stepping on each other in terms of if they're hosting an event versus when we might be. So we're kind of going into the beginning of 2022, looking to be flexible and looking to host something to start with in that very first quarter, hopefully by February, I think was our target, Dave. And I don't, if anyone has any specific questions about the different platforms, I think we've looked at maybe 8 in total over the course of this this search, but there were, you know, 3 that we looked at and demoed. So I'm glad to answer any questions. I don't know if anyone's participated in an event before.
So I've attended virtual trade shows and stuff, and they haven't been very good.
Really?
Have you attended one of their events or something someone else was putting on through this program?
So I haven't attended a Premier specific event, although they have gone through and done demos with us. We did, as Dave mentioned, we got 3 references from other workforce areas, other places who do things that Rochester Works does, and all 3 were specifically about Premier, and all of them were positive, just in terms of the feedback that they received both from businesses as well as job seekers.
Yeah, I believe in this is a need. I just want to make sure it's executed well for everybody, for your side and for the applicants.
We made an attempt at doing a virtual when this first started, and what we ran into is that in terms of the advertising and the promotion of the virtual events, that was done mainly like through Rich, but you would need some supports, as Dave mentioned before, in terms of marketing and getting folks to go to the site. And that's the key thing for this here. Without the marketing that goes to it and having the county's communication supported and getting the word out, you possibly will have that experience, you know, what you're describing. But I think that the upside of it is that if it's promoted and if it's pushed out, especially by our partners, the city and the county, I think businesses are going to enjoy this right here because it's easy for them to go virtual because they're staying in their businesses and they're promoting the jobs that they have. There's no travel to the sites. There's no setting up, you know, all of the things that you have to do at a job fair. So it sort of works out. And what I think that we really should watch within the year of the pilot is the response to the industries that will possibly benefit from this here, which mainly is manufacturing and healthcare. Those are the 2 industries that I think are going to do real well in terms of the virtual. I don't know how much the restaurant industry would do, but it's worth a shot if you can get all of the components to work together.
Absolutely, Hanif. And I think, you know, we've talked about doing those as well, doing industry specific or industry targeted events. One is a way to better attract job seekers who are looking for those types of positions and to fulfill that need for the company. So they're getting that pipeline of candidates that they're looking for. I know for the recent in-person events that we've done, you know, and I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure, you know, companies are just looking for ways to get any pipeline or increase any methods that they can use to get in front of candidates. So, you know, hopefully this will be just another one of the avenues that they can take.
So are there any more questions for Dave and Laura? If not, I would entertain a motion. And what that motion would seek to do is that we make the recommendation for this virtual job fair to go before the board. And we'd have the board to vote on it.
Hanif, I'll make it.
Okay. We need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And no abstentions. So this is if you would call it sort of our little first round, you know, we have to take it to the board. And I think, well, let's go to the board next week, Anna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So hopefully you'll know something before Christmas.
Well, thank you. And I'm a student of legislative process, so I can certainly respect the multi hurdles you have to leap. But I thank you very much for the support, and to Anna and Robin for facilitating this. I think this will be a good initiative, and hopefully look forward to coming back to you in due time to report how it went and understand what we can do more of or less of or differently. But thank you again for the positive referral.
Thank you. And great presentation, Dave and Laura.
Do we have any other business for the executive committee?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm going to see everyone next week, right? For
Yes, sir. Tuesday
it-
morning.
Tuesday morning. Okay, 8 o'clock. All right. Listen, have a good rest of your week, and we wish everybody well, okay?
Thank you all.
Stay safe.
See ya.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.